And we should be live. Welcome back, fellow Grimdark enjoyers. We're continuing the Commandos. That's the plan. We got a Slasha boy here. Not the model they want you to use, but I had some casualties on the modeling front. So we have this boy here with 2 arms. You can see I've grafted. I've done some grafting, giving him an arm he's not supposed to technically have. But I think the pose works fairly well. And you know what? The Slasha boy has a throwing knife, and this guy's kind of got a harpoon, which is kind of a knife here, so I think it's apt. I think this guy is apt to fill the role of Slasha boy. He is partially painted. Back when I first got this kit in 2nd edition. Of Kill Team, that is. But we're gonna paint over him a little bit. I want to give him a stealth suit. These armbands he has here, I think, are perfectly positioned to simulate the Metal Gear sneaking suit, as seen on the big boss, war boss here. Right, so we'll give him some yellow armbands, and I think he'll fit right in. I do like his scuba theme. Okay, we're going to be starting with the sneaking suit, and I guess after that we'll move on to the skin, since it's really just going to be his hands, which are mostly painted anyways. Okay, so to start, I'm going to get some black primer and just paint over all of his upper body. Which sounds crazy, right? Painting over primer, over paint, you're going to lose some detail. But in this case, because I want to suggest a stealth suit of sorts, I think losing a little bit of detail isn't going to hurt the effect. In fact, it should enhance it. All right, let's get to it. Alright, black primer going on. Just up to the wrists. Trying to sell the... I think the stealth suit can also count as a wetsuit for this guy here. Which, you know, fits his aquatic theme. Where he's got his scuba mask, he's got his harpoon. 2 coats of primer on his torso. While the first coat dries, I would like to fix or smooth out the transition on the not the Shaka boy. What's his name? The Comms boy. I keep calling him a Shaka boy, but he has a zap gun, not a shock attack gun. But I'm sure between zappin' and shockin', you can appreciate the confusion. Transgirl Bacon, oh, welcome to the stream. You say, yay, my favorite show. I appreciate that. Amazing that such an informal show is your favorite. I appreciate the sentiment, truly. Yeah, I had some earth texture on this guy here, but I felt like it was still too stark of a transition between basing materials from his... You know what, benefits of hindsight. I probably should have cut the dirt off of this model, but I put this model on the base so long ago, and look, we've already come so far. But yeah, benefits of hindsight, probably should have just removed the dirt altogether, slipped some plastic card under his foot, shored up the difference in height. It would have been probably better. Oh well. Oh well. We can live with a little bit of dirt on a base. Okay, let's circle back to our Slasha boy here. Is he ready for his second coat? Maybe not. I just work way too efficiently, clearly. Well, that being what it is, I suppose I can just start it on painting the stealth suit. So I'll get some London Grey going to mix with our black paint. I might cheat a bit and just use up some of this black primer, seeing as how I just poured out too much on the old wet palette. Okay, we'll work on our pants a little bit. I'm thinking of not doing too many streams, hobby streams this week, just because I have in mind a proper concept for a channel video, which I think will require that time. Unfortunately, but fortunately, right? Time has got to come from somewhere. Okay, let's do another coat of the black primer over the torso. Just kind of applying it fairly thickly. Maybe it's too thick. Running a bit of a risk here, but I do like to live dangerously. proper, you say. Yes, yes. It was actually an idea or a concept for a video left by a commenter on... Which video? Was it the grav weapons video or... No, it was what makes a good rule. It was that video. So it would be a sort of video that's a bit more on the analytical side, you could say. The idea is to basically do a evaluation and maybe even a bit of a rankings of all the army rules in of each faction for 40k. And I think a ranking / review format video should be fairly compelling, and it should be fairly fun. And I'm kind of curious myself to see how everything falls, because I do a little bit of evaluating when I do the list builds here and there, or I kind of can't help myself in a way. Even if I'm working on a topic that's not really related, and the opportunity to rank a faction's rules come up, I just find it interesting. I mean, not rank is the right word, but evaluate a faction's rules. So to kind of compare and contrast all armies in one video, I think will be interesting, and I think it'll be pretty fun. Okay, so I don't know if it's too early to start blending. Paint is looking pretty wet still. Maybe it's never too early to blend. I mean, that's a silly question. Look at this cool orc in his sneaking suit. I got some leftover colors on the palette as per usual, so I'll start laying down some of those. We got a wrist, or I don't know, what is this, a rope? Not a wristband exactly. We're gonna paint it blue for luck. It's sort of become a color scheme crutch of sorts, but I'm not really sure what color to use. I find I just default to blue. Hey, Kitbash Carnage, welcome. Transgirl Bacon says sounds like a good video. I'm hoping so. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Kitbash says, just seen you on, bro. Said I'd pop in, and the well-deserved like. Ah, thank you kindly, Kitbash Carnage. Hope all is well and all in chat. Keep up the amazing work, 40k. Ah, thank you. I am just having fun engaging with the hobby here. But part of having fun, I think, is, especially in this hobby, for me anyways, is trying to improve the old hobby skill. I just find it so satisfying when you unlock a new technique, or I don't know, put yourself into a painting scenario and you decide to try out a new kind of painting technique, or maybe brushstroke or layering technique, or I don't know, a new material. It could be anything. But I just kind of find it so satisfying to level up the old hobby skill. I guess that's all there is to it. it's very important we define this guy's shoulders. This side is looking pretty good. And on this side needs some work. Kid Bash Carnage says, can't stay in the middle of a 24-hour rally again. No worries, Kid Bash. I appreciate just the effort that you've taken to drop in, like the stream, say hi. Goes a long way. Goes a long way. I truly appreciate it. I'm gonna try and get that pre-shading in before the wash comes in. Balzan94 says, the plasma gunner I am painting is gonna splat that guy. Well, look who it is, if it isn't Balzan. How's it going there, buddy? Thanks for popping on. I don't know if your plasma guy will be able to even see this guy. His stealth aspect is just so strong. He's gonna stay concealed all game and probably charge you while he's concealed, and you'll never see him coming. Oh, look, he's got his lucky wrist strap here. So he's gonna roll all crits. Guaranteed. That's how that works. Gotta paint him purple. Jeez, I'm really feeling the peer pressure here for painting these orcs purple. I will never paint my Metal Gear orcs purple. Well, maybe I'll do a little accessory. Right? Like maybe like a grenade, you know? A little purple grenade. Could give him a purple visor. Those sorts of accessories, but the scheme must remain tactical. that Metal Gear stealth suit vibe. I don't want to lose that theme for the sake of a meme, if you know what I'm saying. Is this too dark? Is this too dark? Looks all right. Seems in line. I mean, that being said, I don't think it's too much of an issue if orcs aren't perfectly matching. You know, it's not like that same expectation is there for cohesive colors all throughout a force. I think they're pretty forgiving in that way. Transreal Bacon says, sneaky. Indeed. And Flight of Icarus says, fine looking lads. Ah, thank you. Thank you. I think they're looking pretty good. I was going to say handsome, but it just didn't seem appropriate. I think they're looking sharp. I think we're making pretty good progress here for the sneaking suit. Let's clean up his neck. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? His mask and his boots. So on the last boy we painted, or on the last stream, we did this rocket boy, and I tried mixing in a little bit of incubi darkness in with the gray, and you can see it's subtle, but there's a slight difference in the, it's a cooler, slightly darker gray tone for the mask and boots than the rest of his suit here. There, you can probably see that better now. So I think I'll carry that going forward. At least for the boots. For the mask, I'm sort of iffy on it, honestly. Maybe the mask should stay just a neutral gray tone. Although, I would like it darker. I'd like it to contrast the... No, you know what? We are going to mix in some incubi. We got to make it cooler, because I think these tubes would look cool in a kind of a rubber sort of material, which I will try to emulate using Scale 75's Inktense Black. That's what we'll do. So we'll get some incubi and mix it in. Actually, I have some on the palette here. I think this is incubi. Yeah. Oh. It'll have to be. Right, so next step is probably going to be Nuln Oil, but you know what, should probably do the metal colors first. We'll use some of that Inktense, or sorry, the incubi here on this wristband. All right, let's get the old Vallejo airbrush metal. Yeah, airbrush, Dur aluminum. Slinger tube, welcome. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Everybody say way up. How's it going? All right, we're going to actually, you know what? We're going to remove that. I'm just going to get our paper, clear that off. I want to dirty this up a bit. I still have a primer on the palette, so I'm just going to mix this Dura aluminum with the black primer to get a darker metal color. See, who needs to buy 5 different shades of metal colors? Just mix your own. Just mix your way to whatever you need. shit. Oh, Butterfingers. Well, look, we didn't paint that yet, but it is the right color. Look, what does Gandalf say? No journey is without peril, right? Flight of Icarus says, I'm listening to this board on my work shift as a security guard. I would rather be painting and building models instead. Sleeping emoji. I can appreciate that. And Icarus, I'm honored. Truly honored you would choose this stream of mine to help you pass the time at work. The only greater honor for content creation is to have your content be watched while someone chooses to eat food, in my opinion. I feel that's the greatest honor. Alright, we got this knife here. I want to do all our sharps and metal components. So we got some belt loops. I don't know what this is. What is this? This is like a rope lock for his backpack? Interesting. Interesting orky technology. Let me pull up my little reference, my Kill Team paint job reference sheet here. Oh god, they don't have the reference for this guy because he's a... These parts are for like a generic boy, not a... This is not the model I'm supposed to be using for the Slasha boy. Okay, well... Games Workshop has failed us. What are we to do? What are we to do? I tried. I tried, truly. It's got so many metal components, just, you know, every time I think I've got them all, another pops up. This thing here, no, we'll leave that. Jerry Sanchez, welcome. Slinger Tube says, last week in Ireland before I come back to Canada. Oh, well, enjoy the time abroad, I'd say. Flight of Icarus says, okay, I think I'm all caught up. Jerry Sanchez says, are you that quick with a brush because of lots of practice or because there are areas zero to paint again anyways? I would like to believe I'm quick as you perceive me to be because of practice, but it may not be the case. In some areas, yeah, like, look, I don't mind overspilling in these areas with the belt loops here because, yes, to your point, I am going to paint over this with the olive drab, the backpack area. You know, look, sometimes mistakes happen when you're quick. It's a casualty of war, right? Yes, getting quicker is definitely a skill category I should put more points into, that's for sure. I mean, that being said, I do enjoy, just as a pastime, you know, of this hobby, the process of putting down paint. It's a very zen sort of activity, for lack of a better term. It's very soothing, right? I wonder if that's too strong. Too strong with the incubi there. Maybe I have overdone it. I'm planning to give all these components a all-over Null Oil wash, so maybe that's enough to bring everything back down. Alright, well now the black primer is all used up. We'll add some black paint to the palette. This guy's got boots that remind me of, I don't know why, but for whatever reason they remind me of Trunks boots from Dragon Ball. Maybe that's misplaced. I'm not sure. Who's to say? Okay, we've darkened the belt straps, and I'll just mix in a little bit of London Gray. Just brighten that pure black up a little bit. Just apply a little quick layer on the top surface of those areas. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor, how's it going? thanks for tuning in. You say, hey there, Kai, how's it going today? It's going pretty well. I'm attempting well, not a speed paint. I hesitate to ever call these streams a speed paint. But I'm trying to get this Slasha boy done for by the end of the stream. So we're about 42 minutes in, so we have like 2/3, an hour and 20 to go. I think we're on track. You know, awesome if the base gets done, but it'll be bonus. The base is bonus. You know, I'll hold off from doing the islands for now. The goggles. And instead, we'll apply our wash. Our dirty, dirty wash. It's actually not that dirty. SlingerTube says, gotta get another Haka hang in with you and Tavish and watch some toddlers chill at 11 p.m. again. Yep. I'd be down for that. Yeah. The things you see while dining at 11 p.m., I tell you. Flight of Icarus says, I feel like I should try out zenithal highlighting slap chop style of painting. But that would require buying a bunch of new paints and some new primers, which would be annoyingly costly. Yeah, the slap chop it's what I would recommend for people who want to get models painted as quickly as possible. You know, people who are more play-oriented than hobby-oriented. I think it's just a more efficient way of just getting models done. But as a hobby enthusiast, I don't mind watching models come together, taking my time on them. Yeah, but to your point, the slap chop style does require a different sort of workflow. It's almost like a different build, right? If you were to compare RPG character classes with your hobby inventory, I suppose. What a comparison. It's like, oh no, I've put all my skill points in the regular painting method. Now I can't slap chop. Alright, so we're just going to slap on some... See, look, we're almost slap chopping here. Not really. Don't quote me. I'm just kidding around. I don't want to upset the slap chop community. But similar to the contrast process of slap chopping, washes still do the business. You know, you're just pretty haphazardly just putting it all over the place. You gotta be mindful of pooling, of course. You don't want your wash to pool up on you. Oh yeah, that's a knife. I'm hoping this wash dries before before what remains of my metallic paint dries up. Alright, so a bit of a race against the clock here, because I would like to use that brighter metallic airbrush paint to to add some distress, to add some texture to our blade edges. I find that effect looks pretty good. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor says, hope you're good with the random question, but with your Chapter Master model, what kit did you grab the Volkite Charger from? Thinking of using one myself. Yeah, I'm totally cool with random questions for the record, Neighborhood Inquisitor. I think, look, any engagement with chat is good engagement. I think that's a fair rule of thumb. But to answer your question, I believe it was the Tartaros Terminator kit. I think. It was that Volkite Charger's been my bits box since forever. So you'd have to double check. Alright. Yeah, so I can't say for certain, but I think it's the Tartaros Terminator's kit. It's a nice looking Volkite Charger, I'll tell you. Looks a lot cooler, in my opinion, than the Neo Volkite that some of the Primaris characters have. Alright, the wash is looking alright. However, there's a bit of pooling on his shoulder, which is upsetting to me. I do like my shoulders. Look, I've ruined it. It has been ruined. I knew that would happen, though. I swear. I swear I knew that would happen. So look, we'll have to go in and blend that out. Blend out that blemish. Beautiful. Our knives are looking pretty hefty. Okay. Slingertube says, I'm sure he's okay with the random question. Late in Ireland, I gotta head into work in the AM. Enjoy the rest of the stream, all. You have a good night, Slingertube. Thanks for tuning in. A bit late on the response there on my part. But look. History will show that I've answered your question. Better late than never. Okay, I've got some Castellan green on the palette ready to go. Well, I think this is... Let's see. Oh, it's a bit thin. Too thin. I guess the wet palette did its job. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor says, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor says, okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm thinking of kit bashing a jump pack chapter master for my homebrew chapter. I'm thinking of giving him a Lightning Claw plus Volkite build. And a good right-hand Volkite option is nice. I understand, yep. Yeah, you want the Volkite. I think the Volkite pistol is a... I don't know. I don't know if it's because Plasma has become too common, or if it is just too common. But it's a nice special option, right? Like, it's not exactly a relic. It's not that unique. It's just rare enough that I think it's kind of an ideal sidearm for many characters, honestly. Alright, it's not too rare that it's unreasonable. It's also a neat choice for any like if you're chapter salamanders. I found it, you know, it's kind of it's a heat-based weapon. It's a heat ray, technically, right? So it's sort of on Salamander's brand in a way. I feel like I'm not stretching too much. You know, from a rules point of view, well, it's sort of a moot point because GW doesn't... there's no armory to pull options from anymore. Big sad. But from a rules point of view, I'd much rather have an Inferno pistol than a Volkite pistol. We gotta paint this dynamite. Well, I'll probably end up using the same orange I used for the base. Oh shoot, I realized I missed a spot with this. I missed a spot with the on the harpoon with this metal color. There, that should remedy things. Oh, you know what? We also have the slide here too. That feels like it should be metal. I think if I make the casing of that red, I think it would look interesting enough. Just a, you know, little red detail up there towards the back. I don't think it's bad. This arm here is looking particularly sparkly, and I think it's because I was too quick to apply the wash after I did this this detail here, probably. So now I must pay the toll. You've got to pay the toll. You've got to pay the troll toll. Wait, these are orcs. Not quite trolls. Well, let me catch up with you guys in chat here. Let's see. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor says, the whole thing with my chapter is the first chapter master was formerly a sergeant in the Sally's first company, and he brought with him a relic set of Mark VI armor. Hey, nice. Nice setup for having such, well, what would be rare armor, at least for an Ultima founding Salamanders chapter. I'm not sure if that's a constraint you have, but if it were, that's a good way to kind of grandfather in, so to speak, the access to such a gear. And then you go on to say, so a lot of the chapter master's armory is old relic gear. Nice, yeah. So the Volkite fits right in step. Flight of Icarus says, on the rarity of weapons, it's what spawned my comment on the grab weapons video. I was looking at the Delac sprues to see about my Inquisitor kit bash and noticed they have a couple of grav weapons. Yeah, look, I'm pretty sure I pinned that comment, Flight of Icarus, because it just resonated with me completely. I totally agree. It is so weird how GW didn't really choose to flex the rare options for the rest of the Imperium in the AdMech and instead come up with just different weapon tech. I can't help but feel like it's a swing and a miss. And then to have like Necromunda Gangers having like grav weapon, just put salt on the wound in that sense. Flight of Icarus says, I kinda dryly noted this hive scum were better equipped than my Skitarii. Ugh, yep, exactly. Still, it's a convenient route to give my Inquisitor a combi grav, so there's a silver lining. Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor says, my chapter isn't Ultima founding, they're the 23rd founding. I just use mostly Primaris models because the sculpts are better at base. My modern chapter master himself is still firstborn. Hey, nice. Yeah, I don't think there's any issue in my eyes that, like, it's not as though using Primaris is awkward unless you're Ultima founding successor. Not at all. I think as soon as Primaris are introduced and they get sent to everybody, it's like GW is basically force-feeding it to everybody, right? And, you know, from a persistent world-building kind of point of view, yeah, your chapter's going to be all Primaris pretty quickly. Well, quickly, like, you know, relative to this time scale. All right, given enough time, you're going to just start... You'll just become a fully Primaris chapter. With regards to the baseline Marine, right? I still think you wouldn't stop, like, you wouldn't, any non-Ultima founding chapter would still use the war gear and assets they have. They wouldn't just stop using them because their Marines are slightly larger. It's stupid. Only Ultima founding chapters could fall prey to GW's stupid way to restrict war gear based on Force Org. I don't see why any other chapter, every other chapter that exists would be mixing and matching and whatever's best for the job sort of thing. Alrighty, let us carry on with the Castellan Green. We are doing straps and pouches. What is going on in here? I guess that's the belt. All right, I think this is the last olive drab component. This tiny, tiny pouch, surely for something like cigarettes. Let's see here. Flight of Icarus says, my initial idea for my Lamenter's force was they were Primaris reinforcements that never arrived because they were lost in the warp. Because they're Lamenters, and that would be that would just be their luck. Yep. Sounds about right. I like it. Jerry Sanchez says, have you ever painted Black Templars? And if so, was it easy or hard? Thinking about making it my loyalist army. I've painted one Black Templar. It was an intercessor, sort of a kit-bashed, cool-looking intercessor. And I think I actually gave that model to Balzan, if he's still in chat. I don't think so. But, yes, I have painted one. I find painting black color schemes to be very difficult. Perhaps it's because my painting style sort of leans on different hues and contrasting between them for readability. And that's just not something black color schemes, especially black power armor, really affords, right? Even something like these orcs, look, they're gray, right? They're not really black. So it leaves room. For me, I find having that room within the value, you know, if this gray here is 0.25, let's say, I still have room to work down to 0, like pure black. Where, you know, white would be pure, like 1. Yeah, I find painting black is just hard to make it look good, in my opinion, compared to, I don't know, painting most other chapters that have a strong color, right? It's like you have, I think, the problem I'm speaking to is particularly made clear when you look at something like White Scars, where, you know, you have a gray or a off-white undertone, and you add just a wash, and all the details just pop immediately, right? Yeah, that's, you just don't get that instant readability with black, just by the nature of it. That being said, it can look good, and I'm sure it's a skill issue on my part. Like, there's probably a technique or, you know, a way you want to go about it. And Black Templars have I mean, they're classic. They're classic, like 40k, right? They are one of the more gothic Space Marine chapters, right? Oh, Balzan is still here. Well, excuse me. Please forgive me. Yeah, yeah. I would say if you like the themes of Black Templars, go for it, even if it's more challenging for you. Well, I'm assuming that's the case. It might not be. I think you gotta like what you're painting, or else you begin to begrudge the hobby, and I think it's safe to say that it's not a place anyone wants to be. Right? You want to be engaging with the hobby because you're passionate, because you're enjoying your time spent. Okay, I took some dark sea gray onto the palette here. I'm just gonna paint the skull belt buckle. It's like not exactly a precise brush, but it's adequate enough. Yeah, looking pretty sharp there with his belt buckle. Balzan says, yes, don't you trash my Templars. I would never trash your Templars, Balzan. I like the Templars. I just think black, for me, for my skill level, for the way I paint, maybe that's a better way to put it, I find it a bit challenging to do black power armor. You know, when I painted that Black Templar, that was around the time I was painting the White Scars Intercessor, the Imperial Fist, and the Ultramarines Intercessor. These are old videos on the channel. I don't think I did a video for that Black Templars one, unfortunately. Oh, you know what? Before this dries up, it's still alive. It's still alive, so let's use our bright Dura aluminum. And I find this sort of knackered, but not really brush. It's kind of good for this sort of texturing of like scratches. You get this like nice feathering, sort of these nice brush strokes. Add some character to them a little bit. And I'll do the same on this side. I think it gives those weapons a bit more character. Alright, and little harpoon, can't forget that. Can't forget the harpoon. Looks alright. Not the worst. Francois, welcome. If I get some messages I didn't get to take a look at yet. Flight of Icarus says, though I later read lore about the Lamenters already having Primaris reinforcements, so I just turned it into a strike force in the typical Blood Angel style. Not to mention the Ball Predator is cool. Hell yeah, it's cool. I wonder if there's a timeline where Games Workshop would have created all sorts of patterned predators for each chapter, right? Like the Nocturne pattern predator for the Salamanders, that kind of thing, right? It'd be interesting, right? Surely you would have maybe it would be more in line with the Deimos Melta Cannon Predator. Jerry Sanchez says, now that has me wondering about layering on black for lighting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, I would, you know, off the top of my head, I think I would probably default to like maybe an Incubi Darkness to add a little bit of value, like a little bit of brightness and color to the, you know, the 0/0 black armor color. And then maybe you could mix a bit brighter than Incubi Darkness for like the hot spots, you know, the edges, your edge highlighting maybe. That's probably the route I'd go. But I haven't done a test model. That's all theoretical, not practical. Alright, let's try and squeeze some off-white. Oh, look, it's still alive. I thought it was going to be near its end, but I think it's still got a few more good uses left. Okay, so we're going to do a few passes on that skull belt just to brighten it up. You know, it's supposed to be white. But one does not simply just paint white. You gotta layer your way to white. Oh no, we got some white on his tummy. We gotta clean that up. Okay, do we have any red alive on the palette? It's like barely. Yeah, not sufficient. Not a sufficient amount. We need to bump up our intensity. This is all with regards to the islands there. We'll use some Evil Sun Scarlet. You could use pure red from Army Painter, but you know, I'm not afraid to bounce between colors. Just very, very brave that way. So I'm trying to get maximum redness towards the bottom right there, and I kind of just drag the value differential out towards the left side, and hopefully end up with a blend. Then repeat that a few times, and we should have something pretty good. Pretty decent. I feel like it's not coming across well on OBS here, but you'll have to take my word for it. Okay, okay, let's layer up the olive drab areas. We have Castellan green on the palette. I need some Strachan. Green. Adam Thompson, welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. And Thompson says, working my night shift here in the UK and loving the chilled out vibe in the background while I write up these assessments. Well, I'm honored. You chose this stream to keep you company during your night shift. So I want to try and quickly hit these olive drab sections with this Strachan just to give it a little bit of dimension. And a little texture too, especially for the straps. I think it helps. The backpack has so much going on. I think once the Agrax wash goes over top, it just does all the work. Got a whole bunch of interesting shapes, but the straps holding his not his knapsack, I guess his backpack, to his chest, I think really benefit from the kind of texture that comes with this. Well, I guess the application that I've been doing and the application that you'll see. Sort of like the knife blade. It's a similar kind of idea, just adding some texture with our brighter colors. Oh no, I missed one of his straps. That back one. Oh well. We'll get this paint off our brush first. Okay, get some more Castellan. I don't suppose anyone in chat has any sources for a third-party seller or an STL maker for a collection of models. Like, I'm thinking of various guard regiments that could insert as a kill team for a kill team. Right, I like that idea. I like the idea of, instead of playing the veteran Kriegsman, yeah, you get together a group of, Catachan jungle fighters or something. Right, or Mordian, some Mordian Iron Guard. With their nicely pressed uniforms, and of course they would all stand in a line, as they should. I find that so funny, especially in Kill Team. What a bunch of goobers. Alright, okay, Ogren Camo is going to mix in... Whoa, getting a bit too excited. My humblest apologies, chat. Okay, so mixing in some Ogren Camo to the Strachan Green. I'm going to do a tiny bit of edge highlighting on some of these boxy elements. Right, like we got some of these boxy pouches that I think just pop a little bit. And I like to just line the chest straps a little bit. Really just help them pop off against his body. Now I should weaken this a little bit and do another pass for texture, some texture lines. All right, this is working. This is working. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, I think we're ready for the Nuln Oil. However, sorry, not the Nuln Oil, the Agrax Earthshade. But rope. I want to hit the rope with the Earthshade. Am I still on the line? OBS just gave me an error. But it looks. Let me check YouTube Studio. Let me tab over here. Looks okay. Looks like it's working. Jerry Sanchez has well got to run. He's looking great. See you next time. You take care, Jerry. Have a good evening. And thank you for complimenting the mini. I don't need perfect coverage for this rope, but I do need it like just adequate. Enough for the wash to just fill in the gaps. I got his white rope, soon to be a dirty white rope, and want to do the dynamite? Yeah, maybe. So if this weapon casing is black, I know I said I'd do red earlier, but the dynamite's also going to be red. I don't love the idea of having this symmetrical accessory thing going on. Icarus says, still live that I can see? Perfect. Perfect. You think Catachan will be a good bet for another Kill Team release, eh, Icarus? Well, I like that. As soon as they... Yeah, that's probably the best way to fill them out. To get all of your specialist regiment units back. I say specialist, but it's just a squad. It's just an infantry squad with flavor. Okay, we'll start with some... I guess if they're both layer paints. I kind of hate Word Bearer's Red as a color. I think it's just awful. Just awful. Yeah, my Corn Red has since... Well, it's a little bit alive. There are gooey innards beneath the tough exterior here. I think I can get some paint out of it. Okay. Dynamite. Oh god, I can see it. Do you guys see what I see? I see an Uggo, a big Uggo of a mold line here. I will not stand for it. Where's my knife? Can't believe this. I should go back in time and scold myself for that bad work. While that preps, before we circle back to our red, we'll do these wicks in the same color as our rope. I think that should be okay. It's a string-like object. They're both like fibrous. It is rope-like. I think it's okay to use the same color. hard to see where this detail ends. Where does it end and where does it begin? Who's to say? I don't mind leaving some just black primer just showing towards the base of that olive drab strap. I think once the wash gets added, it'll all kind of blend together and create some natural lowlights. Almost like pre-shading in a way. Oh god. We've ruined it. No! How could I have done this? Okay, I'm gonna start mixing in some wild rider to this dynamite right away. It's got a kind of dark orange. And I'm just gonna paint the middles, the centers of our sticks here. I'd like to keep that dark corn red in the recesses if possible. Definitely this guy's weak spot right here. That's what we're painting. Shoot him here. One hit kill. Probably deal mortal wounds to enemies nearby. It's actually a very satisfying accessory to paint. All right, let's wash the shit out of this guy. Flight of Icarus says, of course the orcs use cartoonish bundles of dynamite. Still interesting to know the orcs know how to make a dynamite. Though at least the grots probably do. Seems like boring work for a full green skin. Yep, I'm inclined to agree. The dynamite is a charming way to characterize them, that's for sure. quite a lot on the top of the pack there. We'll have to be mindful to spread it around. There, that's more reasonable. Any missed spots? I don't think so. Maybe this area could use a little bit. Flight of Icarus says the poor bomb squigs in the new Wrecca crew. Man, just having a bunch of lit dynamite stuffed in their mouths. One's wearing a landmine as a hat. It warms my heart in a twisted sort of way. Where is my Colia green shade? I want to give his belt buckle a quick 1-2 with the green shade. That's a bit too green. Get a bit of white and just dot that corner. I don't know if that's too big or what. There, that's better. It's like a thin little dash. All right, I think we're nearly done, but kind of cutting it tight for time here. What remains? The skin and the yellow arm, the yellow bicep straps. So let us begin. Begin with the skin. So for the most part, the skin is close to what I would like. I painted this guy partially way back when, but yeah, the silver blemish is no good. This guy isn't it's not a son of Ferris. Don't want to give the wrong impression. So let's layer in some Sons of Horus, which this looks like it's already received such a treatment. So here's another pass of a more refined, more pure Sons of Horus. And then we'll mix in some Ogren camo. That's basically the bright tone. I mean, as bright as it gets, like barring hot spots, which I'll do on like Knuckles and those sort of light catching areas. Cool. And the yellow areas. Our yellows. Where are my yellows at? Okay, we'll start with Steel Legion Drab. Well, I sort of nicked his... nicked the sneaking suit there, but it seems we're okay. I think this is gloss medium. Let's see. We can put this on the knob as well. Actually, the knob's fine. Okay, so real quick, I'm gonna wrap up the stream shortly. We're already into overtime here. Well, we're nearly into overtime. Literally spoke too soon. But I want to get these yellow components hit. I feel like that's really what makes the scheme look complete. Maybe I should mix in some brown first. take a similar workflow that I'd use for whites. And slowly step my way towards that pure yellow pigment. That's looking pretty solid. And there's a few minor outlying accessories. Such as these blade handles. Which I'll default to using blue on, I think. Okay, those straps will be hit with a Null oil wash, which just help tone down that intensity. And make the wrapping, those details on the wraps pop. Anything else? There's a minor bit of metal texture I want to add. Very sparingly. Just on that belt loop there and the belt loop here. But mostly on this this plate. I find these plates are great for your orc. Scrappy textures. I think it looks much better for it. Cool. Cool. Alrighty, fellow hobby enthusiasts, I think it's time to wrap up the stream. To everyone who made it to the end, you guys are the real hobby heroes. I give you my thanks for keeping me company and sharing in the hobby camaraderie throughout. And thanks to everyone else who stopped in and gave the stream a like and engaged with the video for all of that algorithm goodness. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll